We're attempting to locate the person of interest.
Scums! That's what it is. We got another attack here. Another attack. Okay, for me it's 4:35 in the morning. And I was figuring I only slept a couple hours. And this is what happened. I yesterday night, okay, 24 hours ago, I slept for about 1 hour. And before that, I was all the way up for another 12, 15 hours before that. So I slept about 1 hour last night. And then just tonight, I slept from about 9:30 till about midnight. Got up to do the church video. And when I was finishing uploading, I was going to see if anything was on the news, you know. And I just finished uploading the church video, the sermon video. And I find here, scums. A scum. That's the way I'm going to call it, okay? Another attack on America. And let me tell you, it's really grievous here. Really grievous. Another person attacked. Innocent people. It's happening all over the place, okay? Listen, and they're targeting music festivals. You hearing me? Music festivals, where you go to take a break and have a good time, okay? And this wasn't no sexy, over-the-top Beyonce something, or the Ariana Grande, you know, where them kids are being corrupted with sexual stuff. This was a place for adults listening to country music. You guys need to hear me and hear me good. There's a spirit of evil running around, and it's everywhere, and it's touching everybody. It doesn't care who you are anymore. At first, see, this is the thing I want to get across real clear. At first, this touch of evil was killing Christians and ostracizing good Christian citizens out of the mainstream of society. But evil really has no premise or bounds. And evil affects whoever it can set its damnable claws into. So I just want to say, okay? I'm just gonna mute that. Because I want to say something real clear here. Us Christians have been paying a price for nearly 2,000 years. And now, this type of evil is branching out to touch the rest of humanity. None of you are safe anymore. I'm not feeling good about this. You understand? How would I say this? How do I say this? To me, it's a part of our life that we be killed for us Christians. It's a part of our life. We know we're going to heaven. We're saved. It sucks, you know? It's a sucky deal when we get killed. Martyred. Murdered for our Lord. Sad day. A beautiful light goes out in the world. And the world gets a little bit more dim. But to me, that's acceptable. Not acceptable. It's not acceptable. You get what I'm saying? But it's not so bad. Because we're saved. We know we're going to heaven. But now, in about the last decade or such, now evil has turned. And it's widespread like a cancer. And now it's touching everybody. You think about it, okay? Think real close. If you've been watching, paying attention the last couple of years, where has this been happening? Now, we know the huge event was 9/11, all right? And there was many other huge events that was just as damnable as 9/11 that happened that weren't so picked up by the media so much, okay? And it's a terrible deal. It's a real terrible deal. But those were on a mass scale from, like, a corrupt, evil regime attacking a certain set, a civil, community or something because of, oh, we're going to try to justify it because you guys came in and bombed us or something. No, you can't do that, okay? You can't kill innocent civilians like cowards and scums when you're at war. You can't do that. That's abominable to me. That's abominable. I think it's abominable. You're a coward and low down. You call yourself a warrior, a soldier, a jihadist. You're a scum and you're nothing and you're nobody. You're the dirt under my feet. That's what you are. Because you attack people who ain't even at war, who ain't got no problem with you. Attacking women and children, as cowards do. But here's the deal. If you pay attention close enough, you will see key factors within most of these attacks, and not all of them have to be terrorist attacks, but they're all terrorist attacks. But they're not all jihadist terrorist attacks, Islamic terrorist attacks, but the mass of them are. Majority is, okay? But you will see key things within these little details, within these attacks, that show you that evil was targeting a certain place or a certain event or a certain set of people for a reason. And here's the deal. I think it was San Bernardino. It was a Christmas party. The birth of Jesus. That's what they're celebrating there. Even if they weren't celebrating about Jesus, it's still Christmas. You'll see people madmen walk into a church, evil doing, I believe, demon-possessed people. These two shooters walk into different occasions, walk into a church, and start gunning people down. That's evil. You know it. Why is it so evil? Why is it blatantly evil? Because you don't walk into a church and kill people who are just singing about God. That's evil. That's Satan right there. You know it. That's blatant, okay? It's obvious. And then you'll see where the terrorists, the jihadists, the Islamic people, okay, the abominations of Islamists, go in with their backpacks full of explosives and set them down in an Easter event at the swing sets with children and blow up women and children as cowards who wouldn't dare to stand to fight a man in war, but they would fight a woman and a child as a coward. Let me tell you. And they blew up a bunch of kids. But you have to understand the details. It was Easter. Easter. Where Jesus died for us. If you pay attention to these things, you will see that it is a blatant attack, whether it be Islamics or not, upon Christ. Why? Why? Why isn't it where, some Hindus all of a sudden go over and start doing mass bombings on Islamics or something, or some Buddhists go over and attack some Mormons and blow them up? Why? Why is it always some other force that comes and kills Christians, because Christ is authentic and everybody else is fake. Every other religion is fake. It's a parody of Christ. It's a ripoff. You'll notice it if you look close enough. It's reality. That's reality. Okay? And that's happening. It's always having to do with something of Christianity or Judaism. It always is. It always is. Because the birthplace of Christianity is Judaism. Okay? So, you have to understand that even if it doesn't seem like it's an attack on Christians or Christianity or Christ, you have to understand that you're not paying close enough attention. The facts aren't all out. We don't know if this was an Islamic attack or a crazed shooter. But what we do know so far is that this dude had a machine gun. He was perched up in an elevated sniper-like position, and he had multiple clips, and he had assistance from a traveler, which I think was his girlfriend, an Asian lady. Also, he picked a prime spot which overlooked a mass crowd. And he picked that spot on purpose. Here's the deal. Now, this is what you got to think about. The majority of the people, from what we know so far, who got injured or killed were in the front rows. Now, here's the thing. Many people are going to try to capitalize off of this in some way. And I'm just going to display a few now. Why would he target the front row when the crowd is said to have been about 30,000 people? He could have just blindly shot anywhere, like this much of a range. Say this is the tip of the gun. He could have just shot like this, like that, and killed anybody, any which way. Why did he have to choose the front area, in front of the stage and such? Why would he do that? Why? And the first thing that comes to my mind is because he wanted to be more recognized. Because if you kill people in the back where it's dark, people won't recognize it for a few extra minutes. And then people, the person that's up on the stage singing or whatever, it was country music, okay? This is not some hippity hop girls naked. It wasn't nothing like that, okay? This is country music, okay? So he wanted to showcase. That's what I like to think of it. That's what I'm thinking. He wanted to showcase what he was doing really fast, really dramatically, because he wants to show the criticalness in his own mind of whatever ideology, thought, or craziness that was driving him, to bring light onto that ideology or craziness. Whatever situation that got him, it was evil that got him to do it, but whatever he thought was the big thing that he wanted to kill people for, because of Islamic or something like that, But we know who the true enemy is behind all those masks of freedom fighters or Islamic or anything. All these masks that these evildoers put on, we know who the true enemy is behind there as Satan, wearing a mask of whatever is known to be evil or have extremist views. You have to understand this was on purpose. This was not some accident of a madman. Because if it was an accident of a madman, or, not an accident, wasn't an accident, but it was deliberate either way, madman or not, or planned, madman or planned, it was deliberate. But madman, you'll see random just spraying, random madness. Maybe he jumped out the window at the end, but you don't see that. You don't see that. You see it as a classic picture of somebody who wants to do mass destruction for an ideological reason. This is not somebody, I don't even know nothing about the guy yet. I don't even know nothing about the guy. But keeping a focused eye on the details gives you lots of information with little. You could get just a few facts and get a lot of information out of just a few facts. Okay? 20 plus dead, 100 plus injured. If this is a jihadist attack, this is a very, very successful lone wolf attack. It really is. And no matter what ideology was driving this person, the reality is they're stepping it up. Do you understand? You have to see that no matter what mask evil takes on, it's still evil. And the only thing that conquers evil, it's real simple. It's not guns and bombs and war. It's Christ. It's the Holy Bible. You cannot go to war against, you can't fight fire with fire. You can't extinguish fire with fire. Do you understand? You extinguish fire with the living water, which is Christ. You have to extinguish it. Extinguishing evil and all the forms and masks that it wears and all the forms that it takes. There's only one way that has ever been successful. It's not Buddhism. It's not Islamic, because these ways take lives. And it's not Mormon. It's not Scientology. It's none of these crazy new ways that people think with free thinking and yoga. That's not going to help anybody. There's only one proven way that changes lives, saves the day, and changes the world for the better. I'll show you. It's real simple. Real simple. You're looking at it right here. Here has all the answers. If you're wondering why I'm holding this up and saying, oh, well, this is a dude who's, he's just representing the Bible, he's pushing the Bible on us again, you need to ask yourself a couple of questions. Why, after almost 2,000 years since after it was already being done, written, in over 1,900 years, why it's still the #1 best-selling book in the entire world today, continuously, annually? Why is the biggest religion in the world Christianity? Why is that? Why? Why? What is so magnificent about this book? What is it? If you have to ask yourself those questions, that means you're not a Christian. And that means you are in mortal danger because of your stupidity and lack of knowledge. If you think you know it all and you're not turning to this, it's like a madman. It's like a madman with a nuclear arsenal. You're going to kill yourself and others. Your stupidity is driving society into the grave. I want to tell you straight and true. I was crying a little bit earlier as soon as I saw it. As soon as I saw those people, think of it. Just think of it. I want you to personally think of it. You're out at a festival. You're out at a musical concert. And all of a sudden, a madman starts gunning people down from a position where you cannot attack back on a 32nd floor. And there's nowhere to run. And if you cause a stampede, more people die. And all you can do is sit still and hope for them bullets not to hit you. I want you to think of it. And you tell me, are you scared? Does this worry you? That this sort of evil has left us Christians, where all of you rest of you who don't believe in Jesus have been so comfortable out here, protected by your peace accord with Satan, that you've denied Jesus, denied Christ. And now are you starting to see that without Christ you're doomed? It don't matter no more. It really doesn't. You're starting to see the picture now. Ariana Grande had nothing to do with Jesus, and they targeted her and her concert. Lots of other venues, lots of other instances recently where it had nothing to do with Jesus anymore. And they're targeting you. You who are not Christians, you who had nothing to do with this war. It don't feel so good now. I bet it don't. Let me tell you, even if you are an unbeliever, I still weep for you. I still pray for your soul. It's a terrible day. And it's a terrible deal. The reason why I said it was kind of acceptable that we die is because we are okay. When we die, we're going straight to heaven. But when unbelievers die, it's not okay because you're going straight to hell. And it's my job, and it's all Christians' jobs, to get you guys saved in Christ so that when things like this happen, you're good. You automatically get to go home to be with God. And nobody seems to care about that. They only care about the shooter, his ideology. CNN's going to turn it to where, and the Democrats are going to turn it to where it becomes, ban on guns. They're going to do it with the crocodile tears. People are going to be rising up against the new mask that evil has put on again. They're going to take their attention off of whatever they were just mad at, that the media made them focus on. And they're going to go straight towards like cattle with the prod of the mainstream media prodding you to be set at war against a new face of evil. It's just a mask. You pull it off, and guess who you see? You see Satan, who's been fighting and killing us since the very beginning. Over 1,500 years before America was even founded by Europeans. We've been fighting that long. Now you guys are just starting to get a taste of it. How long are you going to wait? It's your sons and your daughters. It's you yourself. You always buying life insurance. There's only one life insurance that actually matters. Soul insurance. for your soul. When you die, whether you believe it or not, whether you think it's going to happen or not, whether you like it or not, there's only two destinations. It's either heaven or hell. There ain't no third choice. And if you do not know Jesus, you're going to hell. It's simple as that. So I don't care about the gunman. I don't care about the gun. And I don't care about the evil mask of an ideology that Satan has slipped on to refocus you towards something else. And I don't care about the media. I don't care about none of it. There's only one thing I care about. That unsaved people died today. Unsaved people died today. And they're doomed to hell. That's what I care about. And if you call yourself a Christian, that should stress you out. That should stress you out. That should make you refocus. Don't you understand? We're in a war here. We can't play games. We can't laze about. We can't wait till it seems better. We can't. We can't. Because every day you're going to turn on the news and you're going to see something like this. Or you just know in your mind from facts and statistics of drunken drivers, of famine, of natural disasters. There's people dying all the time around the world unsaved. And you know where they're going. You know it. You know it while you're sleeping 8 hours a night. And you know it while you're sitting comfortable in your chair watching a football game on Sunday. You know it. You know it when you walk past a church and you go into a bar. You know it. And you know what the Lord says. He says, I will account their blood unto your hands. You know it. You know what you got to do. St. Matthew chapter number 28, the final verses. Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel. You know what to do. Why ain't you doing it? Why are you doing these one-liners that don't help nobody? Why are you doing these 2-minute little posts that don't do nothing for nobody? Preach like the King preached. The Sermon on the Mount. Where are you? That's all I got to know. Where are you? What are you doing? What's going on? Don't worry about me. Who cares what I think? Who cares? Really? You should not even think of what I'm thinking about. You shouldn't even care what I'm saying right now. Except for this one thing. You need to go into the mirror. You need to look at yourself. And there's one question you got to ask yourself every day. From this day until your last day. Did I do all I could? Did I do all I could have done? Did I say what I needed to say right there? Did I evangelize on my block? Did I tell people about Jesus in the grocery store? I had a chance to tell that woman that Jesus loved her, to pray for her sick child at the hospital. I had a chance and I missed it. You need to think of it. And you need to think of it every day. Oh, Lord, family, although God loves you, I love you as well. I serve for a purpose. I serve for my children and your children. that God willing one day they don't have to live in such a thing as this, where this is not common and mainstream, but this is a forgotten edifice of the past, wiped away by us who dare to stand today. We're not going to see a beautiful life no matter how much we work in this lifetime. We're not. We're generations away from the cure. Christ being widespread and mainstream on every TV channel. At least one show of Christ, every TV channel. We're far from that. It's going to take a long time to get to that. But it's got to start somewhere. If it don't start with you, if you don't feel the call for it, what are you doing? Why'd you have kids? What are you waiting for? You're leaving them. No. That was the wrong word. You're dooming them to a future that's going to be far more terrible than this. Dooming them. And if you're hearing this and you keep on with it, you're knowingly doing it. You're knowingly dooming them. So stand. Now's the time. Not later. Not when you got it all together. Now. I started hopped up on drugs. Just getting out of prison. And I was self-medicating and addicted to morphine. And I was poor. And I was still doing sins. And even at the bottom of the barrel, I knew if I had a breath, I have a chance. And that's all you need. That's all you need. If you have a breath, you have a chance. Nothing is impossible to those that believe. Get up and get to it. Nobody is stopping you but you. The King is watching all the time. Your kids are watching all the time. The future depends on us. People you will never ever know. People that you have that will be alive after you're dead, won't even be born till after you're dead. What you do in this lifetime can affect their decision to turn to Christ, to be saved, to change civilization for the better. Why wait? Why waste a day? Today's all you got. Tomorrow is not promised. You could die tonight in your sleep. What can you say? Think of it for just a second. What can you say? What can you say? It's not a contest, but just you know it. You know it when you think of it alone. You had so many chances to begin, and you never took the first step. Get up. This isn't for me. This is for you. I don't care. Run your own race. I don't need to see it. I'm not going to give you a high five because I don't even know who you are. You need to get up without the promise of a prize and without some kind of a reward or anything. You need to do what's good and what's right, even when no one's looking and you don't benefit, because that's Christ. You need to do it, and you need to do it now. Now, for the future, and for those around you. May the Lord greatly bless you. Pray for these victims of this terrible wickedness that has happened. And don't be blinded by all the people that's talking. You know it true. Satan has slipped on another mask to divert your attention away from the real thing that matters. Turning people to Christ. I just want to tell you one more thing before I turn this off. It's an old statistic, it's been updated, and the numbers are bigger. But last I checked, around the world, 155,000 people die every day. And only 1/3 of those claim to be Christians. How sincere? Maybe not so much. But that means over 100,000 people die every day and end up in hell forever. In 10 days, that's 1 million people. And in 1 month, that's 3 million people. In a year, that's 36 million people. Every year, year after year, day after day. We need to fight and work and trust in the Lord so much that we can carve down that number. That's what we need to do. We need to carve down that number, reaching anyone we can with the message of Christ. We need to get them help. They're dying. They're dying every day, all day, every day. And I'm betting you the mass of them that are dying are clutching at their chest, or they're taking their last breath, and they're thinking, I wish there'd be someone here to usher me into heaven. And there's none. They probably don't even know it, but I bet you their soul is crying out, I wish somebody would have told me about the one and only true God and the debt he paid for me on the cross. There ain't nobody doing it though. I never heard that message. That's what all them 100,000 are saying. Or I wish I could just hear the gospel one more time. I wish somebody would stand up. I wish somebody would stand up and quit being a coward. Quit being scared of what the popular culture says. And would have stood up in the middle of the street and started preaching. I might have heard them from afar off and they didn't even know I was listening. And I could have made my decision quietly there up in my second story window or something. And that street preacher wouldn't even have known about it. You guys gotta think about it. Think about it and get to it. The Lord loves you. I love you as well. Let's do it.